T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, Booney Believers. Welcome to Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, to all the beautiful and sexy pinata Booney Believers all out there, it is March 26, 2024, and I hope all the Ontarians are having a fantastic evening. Folks, you see the title. Welcome back, TSN radio broadcaster Tony Ambrogio. Looking forward to see this beautiful, sexy pinata Italian with my co-host, my colleague, Johnny B. Good and Tony Ambrogio. Good evening, folks.
How's it going, guys?
Doing
How
great.
are you guys?
I'm great, thank you. Great. How are you guys?
I can't complain, man. Two Italians sitting with the Syrian. There's nothing better than that, my friend.
I love it.
How are you doing, Tony?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well, yeah.
Things
Getting
are
close
well.
to the NHL playoffs, so you can't complain. Looking forward to it.
It's always an exciting time of the year. I said you got the hockey playoffs, the basketball playoffs. Baseball season's just starting. So as a sports fan, it's always an exciting time of the year.
Yeah, very busy time for sure. It's great.
Very busy time. And my first good question is, what do you think the Leafs' current goaltending situation is? Will they be okay to make a playoff run with who they have, Tony?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, Joseph Woll looked good against Carolina. He had been off for a couple of months with an ankle injury. He struggled against Boston in back-to-back games, but I thought he really rebounded well against Carolina. I think in a perfect world, they would like to make him the number one guy in the playoffs. But I can't say enough about how impressed I've been by Ilya Samsonov. When you think about where he was in late December, pulled often on games, couldn't stop a beach ball, gave him the mental break, and he looks like a different goalie. He looks confident again. So I think the goalies, Woll and Samsonov, are going to be okay. I think they'd like to have one guy take the ball with it and become the number one guy. And I think in a perfect world, they would like that to be Joseph Woll. But right now, in my opinion, the game one starter is Samsonov in the playoffs.
I think Ilya Samsonov has overcome what he's gone through. And it's unbelievable to see a guy getting almost released, coming back, getting the starting job. But my concern is when it comes down to playoffs, Tony, is he ready for that Florida Panthers matchup? Is he ready for the Tampa Bay Lightning? Does he have that experience enough to hold the Leafs and move past round one?
Well, I think so. I mean, who beat Tampa Bay in the first round last year? It was Samsonov for the most part got the start. So I think he can. But, you mentioned off air, it's about the players in front of him, especially the D-core. And right now, the Leafs defensemen, I think they're an upgrade over last year with Edmondson and Lyubushkin. And, with Giordano now coming slowly back into health, if Liljegren can progress, if McCabe continues to progress, and if Riley can continue to progress and stay healthy, I think it's an okay D-core. Is it the best in the playoffs? Probably not. But I think it's an okay defense group. The question is, who are the pairings, right? And I think they're still working that out with 15 games to go or so. So that would concern me. But I think defensively, I think they'll be okay, especially if we saw the way, and Johnny will agree with me, the way they played against Edmonton, showing that physicality, that toughness, that grind. They attack the star players. If they do that, I think they can certainly hold their own in a playoff series.
I agree. How about you, John? I agree. I actually absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I said I've noticed the past couple of years, the champions, the ones that are getting it done, the Vegases, the Florida Panthers. It's that grit. It's that. Yes, you can have. Yeah, because I look at Carolina. They have very good finesse, very good goaltending, very good goal scorers. But they just missing that edge, that little bit of grit that didn't get them.
He's at the door.
So,
sorry, somebody was at the door. But carry on.
It's probably Canada Post or some scam.
I'm not sure who it is. I'm on a podcast right now, so I can't answer it.
Sorry. No, I was just saying I agree. It's that little bit of grit. And like I said, every night's different. I mean, the other night, the Leafs showed up playing the Oilers, one of the top teams, arguably in the league. And, they got it done. They got the win, and they showed that grit, that toughness. And they've done that against other top teams. So I think they're ready to make a playoff run. But, again, it's always that tough first round. It's going to be Boston. It's going to be Florida. Those are tough teams for a first-round matchup.
You're right. Absolutely, Johnny. Absolutely.
That's a conversation for another day, but it's the playoff format that doesn't need to be changed.
John?
Question 2 here. Yeah, what are some of the things that the Leafs need to do with the remaining games they have left in order to prepare them for a good playoff run?
So if you're asking me, I think number one, they got to figure out their deep pairings. Make sure that they can get a set deep pairings. If you looked at the last 3 or 4 games, they've jumbled and mangled and mixed and matched, right? And TJ Brody. So number one, they need to get TJ Brody playing like he was a year ago. Right now, his confidence is shot. He's just not playing very well. Number 2, continue to build up the confidence of Timothy Liljegren. The Leafs need a right-handed shot, puck-moving defenseman. Timothy Liljegren is that player. They've got to get his confidence back. And number 3, figure out who plays with who, like I said earlier, right? Trying to figure out who's McCabe's best partner, who's Riley's best partner. I think Riley's best partner is Lyubushkin. But is it Brody? So those are the issues they have to figure out. And number 4, stay healthy. Make sure you're healthy by the time the playoffs start in a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, and that's the same with the football and other things where we've seen that. It's the health, right? The teams that stay healthy can make those runs. So whether it's your goaltender, it's your defense, it's your players, right? Those are, this is where the coaches have to keep shuffling or mixing up lineups to make it work.
Well, I didn't know Matt Murray was still a Leaf. And I got a report from Elliot Friedman last night that the 29-year-old was seen taking shots ahead of the Maple Leafs practice on Friday, a step in the right direction from his hip surgery in the summer. Maple Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe said the netminder is long ways away from returning. But Sportsnet, Elliot Friedman reports that Murray could be cleared to play in the next few weeks. What is next for Matt Murray and the Maple Leafs, Tony?
So I think once he's cleared, let's say he's cleared and there's 4 or 5 games left to go. He will not step into an NHL rink. They'll send them down to the minor leagues for a conditioning stint of some kind. Then once he's ready to go and they're in the playoffs, he'll be part of the roster. He'll be your 4th goalie right now. Could Matt Murray play a playoff game for the Maple Leafs? Yes. Do I think he'll play a playoff game for the Maple Leafs? No. So Matt Murray wants to play again this season. And the reason why he wants to play, he's a free agent after this year. He wants to show teams he's healthy and deserving of a contract from somebody, whether it's Toronto, whether it's another team. So Matt Murray is determined to play this year. I think if he does play this year, it'll be in the minor leagues.
Where do you put Matt Murray?
Think, John?
Oh, go ahead, John.
Me? Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, I know they said that. And the challenge show, I think, with the Marlies, they're close to the playoffs or they're in the playoffs. So even though he's a veteran guy, if you throw him in, and again, because all these little things can throw off the chemistry of a team that's playing well. So you don't want to tinker with that either. That's so. If it was regular season, fine. But if you're in playoffs, that's a whole different game. Oh, you're on mute.
Can't hear you.
Oh, we lost the sound.
Can't hear you, buddy.
Oh.
You want to try to go and come back? 1 sec.
For some reason, the sound is off.
Your sound's off, my friend. There's always technical difficulties when you're doing so good. And when you need someone, why don't you leave and come back? Leave and come back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure. Well, we could hear you, and then we just lost it all. Can you hear me okay?
He's going to come back. But yeah, as people don't remember, Matt Murray was the youngest goalie to win back-to-back Stanley Cup for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
And
that's
people
why
don't remember that. People remember the time he was in Ottawa. It's like Bill Belichick. They don't remember him winning 6 Super Bowls. They remember him losing 6 times, missing it multiple times in the playoffs, not making the playoffs. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Tony back.
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
No, I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Oh. I don't know.
Do you have any headphones or anything?
The mute? No. Let's see. I can kind of hear him. It's like the sound is faint.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it was like it just cut out all of a sudden there. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, you gonna go for a minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna try. Maybe I'll try calling in. Yeah, that's the. We do a live show. It's always technical difficulties. Yeah. Oh, there you go. He's getting a plug-in in. Yeah, it was the sound just cut out all of a sudden on him.
It's because you don't wear a tie, Joe.
Who was
I
that?
can hear you a little bit. Can you guys hear him? Can the chat hear him?
We could hear it. I'm not sure. It just cut out all of a sudden.
I might have to call you.
Oh, hang on. Give him a chance. We'll try it again. I said we had the sound. We were doing good. It just cut out all of a sudden.
No.
I can hear it like faintly. It's there we go. I can hear it like a little bit.
Yeah. Tony, I'm going to call you on your phone.
As I said, I could hear it faintly.
Hi, Joe. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear. I don't know why I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
That's the weirdest thing. I don't know what to tell you.
That's all right, my friend. I can have you on camera. I can have you on audio
very weird.
here. That is weird.
Because it looks like it was working fine. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was just going to say just quickly about Matt Murray. It's and Johnny's right. You don't want to disrupt what's going on with the minor league team in the Marlies because they've got the playoffs. But I really think that Matt Murray has every right, if he's healthy, and you have to put him back on the roster, right? It's the rules of the league. And I know with Vegas, they've got guys who are on long-term injury, and then magically they're going to come back for game 1 of the playoffs. I know I've heard this act before, but I really think that it's Matt Murray's right to come back. But Johnny is right. You don't want to disrupt the minor league team, and then really, how is he going to be able to play with Toronto when he hasn't played all season long, faced NHL competition? So I think if he comes back, he'll be one of those black aces in the playoffs, right? A 4th goalie practicing but not playing.
And people need to remember, Matt Murray, I think, was one of the youngest goalies to win back-to-back Stanley Cups for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So
You're right.
I give this guy a chance if he can come back maybe 2-3 games down the stretch because, they got New Jersey, Washington, Buffalo, Florida, Tampa Bay, Montreal, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Detroit, Florida, and Tampa. If he can get one of those 2 games at the end of the season, I think there's a good shot to see Matt Murray maybe in the playoffs if we still have Samsonov injured. God forbid he's not injured. Nobody's injured. But I would give Matt Murray a shot at the end of the year if he could come back and make a run.
Yeah, and he's been a good goalie over the years. Like you said, he won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's why Ottawa picked him up. But unfortunately, again, it was the health problems. He couldn't sustain that number one role with all the injuries he had, and kind of similar situation in Toronto. So again, I think if he's given the chance, but again, it's that everyday playing. He hasn't had that chance. But I think again, he could come in. He could be a number 2 or a number 3 again.
This is your special question, Mr. John Bruschetto. This is all about Tony now. Move on to Tony.
Oh, gosh. Poor Johnny.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, that's right here. Tony, you've been working at TSN. What have you enjoyed most in your roles working there, and who are some of the favorite sports players that you've got to interview over the years?
Yeah, I've really been lucky. I work with a great group, right? So many talented people, both behind and the front of the camera. To me, some of the people that I've really liked interviewing, Johnny mentioned Matt Sundin many years ago, and that was a great interview. Really classy guy, really easy to talk to. Wayne Gretzky going way back, very approachable, very nice. I was also a real big fan. Oh, did you remove me from the stream, Johnny? What?
No, I'm not removing. I'm trying to fix something.
Oh.
Continue.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll keep going. Sorry about that. I just saw a review of that. Am I out here? Anyway, so those are some of the guys. And as far as what I enjoy most working at TSN is the people, right? It's a vibe. It's a very much like we all like sports. We all have different sports we like. But there's still a kind of a togetherness, and you kind of get kind of like you kind of rid each other. Oh, you like a bad team or you like a bad player, and it's kind of a fun atmosphere. So it's a lot of fun to work and a fun place to be, for sure.
Oh, that's great. Like you said, you have good camaraderie. In any situation, no matter it's like family, right? Familia is the Italian, right? It's the family around you that you build, that you enjoy coming to work every day, and the people you get to see.
That's a good way to put it, Johnny. It is like a family. It really is. It's we argue, we bicker, we give each other a hard time, but at the end of the day, we love each other, so it works out great.
What a family.
You know what? You should never take it for granted interviewing my favorite Leaf captain, Matt Sundin. And I love that guy. And that team you don't see in today's market. Everybody's worried about the dollar now. And as I look at the Toronto Leafs from year of 2005 to year of 2024, that core back then, you'll never get a Matt Sundin. You'll never get an Antropov. You'll never get a Darcy Tucker, a Ty Domi, Wendell Clark, or those guys. I respect that team from back then. I think hockey back then was just different in a way that people were more interested. I'm not saying it's interesting now, but back then it was more interesting for a lot more people. Everybody is now worried about the dollar and the salary and who makes more. Just play the damn hockey game and win a Stanley Cup for Toronto. That's all I care for, seriously.
Certainly, there's more money in the sport, no doubt about that, Joe. More money in it than ever, but the players have a right to seek fair compensation. But I understand what you're saying as a fan. I will agree with you. That era of Clark and Tucker and Domi, those grind guys, those work boot guys, right? Blue collar players. Toronto Maple Leaf fans will love them forever.
Yeah. What are some of the roles that you get to do every day working at TSN, interviewing, editing, and producing?
Well, that's pretty much what we do. We interview people. A lot of times I'll put highlight packages together. I'll write stories. I'll put features together. So I'll write a little feature, work with my video editor to put the feature with the pictures and the video together. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes in the production of what you see on TSN, especially during the Sports Center shows that myself and countless others are involved in. One day it might be golf. One day it might be baseball. One day I might be doing some Leaf stuff. It's just you never know what you're getting day from day.
And do you continue on doing the Leafs morning skate every morning?
I'm not there every morning. Mark Masters does it for us every morning.
Yeah, Mark Masters.
But I am there once in a while. Yeah.
Johnny, I know your kids are involved. You're Italian over there.
I love it. I love the kids. Make some noise. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
We got a final question, and John Bruschetto, he worked very hard for this question. John, take it away.
Well, I was just researching a little bit about Tony. So for me, I didn't realize it came from London. So I thought, man, this guy, working at TSN, for me, that would be exciting. I mean, that's fun. And what you've told us, what you get to do every day. But I was just saying, you've had an incredible career so far as a broadcast journalist, starting right here in London, Ontario. You graduated from Montcalm, then you went on to broadcast journalism at Fanshawe College. So what advice can you give to some other young broadcast journalists like Joe Booney, who's getting started, and to help them in their journey?
That's a great question. I love it. You did the research. I like it, Johnny. So I would say, number one, you realize it's a very competitive field. A lot of people want to do it. Number two, once you determine you're going to do it, because of places like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Joe, you're doing this yourself right now. You can brand yourself. You can do types of shows that you're doing tonight.
Yeah.
You can do these interviews that you do with Johnny and Talk Sports and show the world, not just people in your neighborhood, but the world, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and just really showing your skills. So that, I would say, continue to do that. And network. Why? The business is changing so much. And I'm not talking about from when I started out 30 years ago. I'm talking about the last 3-4 years. It has undergone a transformation unlike anything else. Like, you think about going from radio to TV in the 50s. Well, now we're doing TV to internet, to all these different social media platforms. So you can really work for yourself. Now, before, when I started out, I had a radio station I could work at or TV, and that was it. Maybe newspaper if I wanted to write newspaper. But for broadcasting now, Joe, Johnny, you guys can use YouTube, LinkedIn, and all the social media platforms. And if you work hard and you become a good podcaster and you get a following, you can sell advertising. You can make money. You don't have to work for the big networks like Bell or Rogers like I have to back in the day.
Yep.
Right? Now, is it easy? No, I'm not going to BS you. Not easy at all. It's really hard. But I've had students, because I do a bit of teaching on the side at the College of Sports Media in Toronto, who have become podcasters with the Senators and have gathered a great, they call it the Locked In podcast on the Senators. And they've got a great following. They have jobs outside of this podcast, but they've been able to make some money doing the podcast following their favorite team. Another young student of mine does stuff with fans. He gets fan reaction after every Maple Leafs game or a Raptors game, and he puts a little blurb, and he's got sponsors for that. So yeah, just go show people what you can do and work and network. But the big thing is, in 2024, you can show the world what you've got because of all these different broadcasting platforms.
I'm into that. I won't take that for granted. Every word you said, I put it in my heart, and I continue on doing this, and it's amazing. 30 years ago, you'd have to go to radio. Now you have this YouTube looking like CNN, looking like sports, and you can have a background. You can have these questions up. People can see it. You can see it. It feels amazing. Like you're a part on television.
It's amazing, the technology, the change. It just boggles my mind. I mean, I'm speaking like an old man now. I'm almost 58. And I definitely get over how much it's changed. It just rocks. It just blows my mind.
Before we go, we got about a few minutes. I have this little short story. I woke up one day. I had a dream, actually, that I woke up and interviewed the Raptors announcer, Jack Armstrong. And this dream was about 7 years ago. I dreamed about it for about a couple of days. I hope one day that I interviewed Jack Armstrong on Joe Booney's show, and I hope he comes on camera. One day, I woke up and I realized at 10 a.m., I interviewed Jack Armstrong. So when you put your mind to something, Tony, and to the viewers out there, when you put your mind to something, to your heart, you can do anything in life. You can become the next Michael Jordan, the next LeBron James, the next president, as long as you have commitment and in your heart. And you have guys like Tony that take the time to come on these small networks like Joe Sports Channel and give advice like this. All I can say is, Feliz Navidad. That's something that is a gift from God, from you guys.
And keep believing. And remember this, I tell my students this all the time. Chris Cuthbert, James Duthie, all these big name people. Every single one of them started out where you are today, right? Trying to get into the business, whether it was TV or radio or whatever it was. So never be afraid or hesitant to reach out to them, because they've all been in your shoes, if you will. I tell my students that all the time.
Wow, maybe we'll have to see if we can get those guys on the show. That'd be amazing. And Joe, you said Jack Armstrong once. You've actually had Jack 3 or 4 times now. So
that's wonderful. Jack is a great guest.
We multiplied 3 or 4 times now.
You know, he went out of his way. He gave me his email and number, and I woke up one day, sent me this video. Hey everybody, it's Jack Armstrong. Made me a beautiful video, no cost or anything. It looks like he just woke up and his hair's all over the place, a big mess, and saying, "If you don't like Just Quit, get that garbage out of here." And I'm saying to myself, Am I dreaming, or is this actually happening? Like, my goodness, like seriously, these broadcasters are amazing, like you, Tony. And I hope to have you on again soon, because I love your empathy, I love your energy, and I love the Italians, and especially you got to come to London to the Marconi Club. It's my day.
Yeah.
You like a feast.
Oh, my dad was a member there before he passed away in 2016. He was a big member there. Yeah.
Food, good food.
Way back.
Does Austin Matthews get 66 goals at least this season? Right now he's at 58.
That's a good question. I think he can, but I wouldn't be surprised if, and maybe Johnny might disagree, but I think they might bench him for the last couple of games if they got their playoff spot locked up, just rest him for the playoffs. So what's he got? 13 games to get
1, 2, 3,
7
4,
goals,
5, 6,
8
7,
goals.
8, 9,
He
10,
can do
11,
it.
12. There's 12 games, and they're playing tonight against the Devils right now.
Oh, 12 games. So if you rest him for the last 1 or 2, that gives you 10. He's 58. I would say he's got a shot, a 40% chance. How's that?
40% chance. I'm going to write that down.
He gets 66, yeah. 40%. What do you think, Johnny? Am I close?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was going to say, I think he's got a good shot. I mean, goodness, sometimes he shows up, he's got 2 or 3 goals in the game, depending who they're playing now. But even if he had one or 2, or the rest of the way, but I think it's definitely doable. Good point you made. They'll likely rest him again. Makes smart sense to do that, because they're getting close now where teams are starting to qualify for the playoffs. They're starting to lock in those positions. I don't think the Leafs are going to move from that 3rd position. So I think it would make sense, maybe like I said, with 2, 3, maybe even 4 games left, just to give him a rest. But the other thing is, you don't want to rest them too much to get him rested before the playoffs either. So always that balance. The coach knows that.
Yeah, well said. It is a balancing, juggling act. And there'll have to be some communication with the coaching staff and the player to see what's best for the player. But I do believe they'll probably rest him for at least 1 game if they're locked, like you say, Johnny, in 3rd spot in that division.
Yeah.
They'll be locked 3rd spot. I think, Tampa's playing really good right now. They're playing really good hockey. Stamkos is playing good. Vasilevsky, the whole team's playing good. They got good. But I see this core going far in the playoffs, and hopefully they go all the way. We'll see. Time will tell.
Well, wouldn't that be something, if they made a long playoff run? Just the buzz, not only in Toronto, but Southern Ontario, maybe even across most of the country.
Yep.
Right? There are groups of Leafs fans everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's a huge brand. I was talking about Brandon. It's a big brand. And I think this team is really talented. So let's see what happens.
Well, look at the excitement it generated last year. I mean, how many years it took them to get over that hump to get out of the 1st round? So they did that last year, beating Tampa, and look at the excitement that generated. So again, if they can continue that, I think the momentum, the excitement will grow.
Yeah, I think if they can win the 1st round, like again, it's not going to be easy. Who are we kidding? But if they got past the 1st round, then they'll play either, the 1 versus 8, because number 1's going to be, I think, in the Atlantic Division. Boston or Florida. Again, it won't be easy, but they can win that series. The Leafs have the talent. And I think guys like Bertuzzi and Domi have had great playoff success in recent years. They know what it takes to win in the playoffs. Those 2 guys could be X factors for Toronto.
Yeah, I'd like to see Nylander too. I mean, they've struggled in the playoffs along with Mitch. Marner has also struggled. So if I think those are two key guys too that hopefully again get healthy. They can step in and make a difference.
And you know what? You miss seeing Marner right now, but resting right now these last 2 or 3 weeks could turn out to be a blessing for him come the playoffs. Right? He'll be more rested. He might feel better about his body. He may not have as many aches and pains when he comes back. So maybe resting now, well, you hate to see him miss games, it might turn out to be a blessing in disguise for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, same with Samsonov.
I just hope we can. I just hope we can just get out of that first round like we did last year, and just at least go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Get to Eastern Conference Finals and we'll go anyway.
Like if you look at the way the playoffs are set right now, you could make the argument that the best positioned team is Carolina, because they're going to play either Philadelphia or maybe the Islanders. And no disrespect to those two teams, but that could be the easiest first-round matchup in the Eastern Conference, right? Because you could have Boston if they win their division, or Florida playing Tampa in the first round.
Yeah.
Right?
Tampa's
And
a
that won't be
concerning.
easy.
Tampa's a concerning. And you know what? If Washington gets in, guys, you better watch out. I'm telling you. You better watch out for Pacioretty and Ovechkin. Everybody, all you, even this guy, this Italian, Johnny Be Good, Brachetto, been putting down Ovechkin. The Capitals are not going anywhere. Man, they're on fire. Ovechkin had 8 goals at the beginning of the year. What is it, 26 now? Favored for 33?
They're playing better now.
They broke up the
Gretzky record. He's going to break that damn Gretzky record. That Russian's taking it over the Canadian.
I was being too over talking because I said the way Ovechkin. I watched the Capitals. This was a game they lost 7-2. I said they just seemed lifeless. They just seems to be playing well. But the last couple of games, it's like all of a sudden they've just woken up and caught fire. Because I thought the Red Wings had that spot, but now again, there's a lot of jockeying still going to be going on between the Red Wings and maybe even the Islanders and the Capitals. So it's going to be interesting. Coming down the stretch, which is what makes hockey exciting, right? It's what makes playoff. Who's going to make it? Who's going to miss out?
Yeah. And remember, Florida, I think last year was a number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference.
They were.
They went to the Stanley Cup final.
They were.
You just never know. You get in the playoffs, you never know.
You never know.
And look at the West. If you look at the West, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
No.
If you look at the Western Conference teams, my goodness. Who's the favorite there? Is it Colorado?
It's the Nashville Predators.
And the Predators, you laugh, but the Predators have won, I think, 14 of their last 16 games.
Yeah.
They are playing unbelievable hockey lately.
But yeah, and it's again a given night, right? The Colorado looks great one game. Nashville looks great another game. So there's so many different teams that can step in and play well on any given night.
So it's about health, it's about luck, and it's about, just having a bit more than the opposition over a course of a 7-game series. It's the margin of error is really thin between these teams this year. I think you said that off the top, Johnny. It is really, really close this year. Really close.
Hasn't been this close.
Yeah, and even Vancouver. Vancouver's kind of come out of nowhere this season. And, the coaching change. Again, what's he giving them? He's giving them that toughness, that little bit of grit. They had the finesse. They were just missing that little bit of edge. And now Vancouver's kind of caught fire this year. So it's going to be fun to watch the NHL playoff for sure.
It's going to be really fun.
I agree.
I have a request for you, Tony, if it's possible. And I always say this at the end of the show to all my amazing, beautiful broadcasters. Would it be possible if I got a picture of you signed from Tino Ambrogio to Joe Booney, signed and sent in the mail?
I don't have any pictures at all, though. I'm trying to sign it, but I don't have any. I don't take pictures of myself.
You don't have any around, like little photos?
I'll sign you something.
He's just looking for an autographed picture.
Because I have all these broadcasts that sign and put in all in one book.
No, I know what you're saying. Like the what do you call those photos? Those staged photos or whatever.
Staged photos, like cards, like the hockey cards.
Yeah. I don't have any of that, but I'll see what I can find. I'll send you something. Give me your address, and I'll see what I can find.
I will.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure, my friend. It really is. And I want to have you on more often. I want to have you on more often, maybe once a week or twice a week, and we can talk more Leaf talk.
Yeah, anytime. Give me a call for sure.
Thank you, brother. Stay safe.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Johnny.
No problem. Take care.
All right. You too. Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking with him. Enjoyed his insight into, of course, the Maple Leafs, which you wanted to hear. He gets to see them every day or in the practice. So it's definitely exciting as we get to this time of the year, in the playoffs.
This is a guy that I would love just to sit down at Tim Hortons, have a honey cooler donut and a coffee, and just talk about the Leafs. He's a guy that explains it like Rod. All these broadcasters, they have amazing personalities. To be a broadcaster, you have to have an amazing personality, if it's from YouTube or it's from live on television. And to have like Tony Ambrogio, Jack Armstrong with all the advice, and thank you, Johnny Be Good, for that question. And that warmed my heart for you say Joe Booney at the end. So thank you for that. Kudos.
So again, I mean, Tony's traveled the road that you're on right now. So this is where, we appreciate his insight, how, he went to broadcast journalism at Fanshawe. Again, maybe that's something you can do. But he said, given today's world, hey, heck, here we are on, on YouTube, or with all the technology we have, you can have your own show.
Yeah. There's Ing. TSN brings Canada sports and North America together. It's all about.
We got to get Ing back on the show again, too.
Yeah, we'll have him back on maybe sometime this week.
There we go. We can do a trivia night show. We can do something like
that. Yes. Take a screenshot of this broadcast and he'll sign it. I could do that too if he doesn't have a picture.
Yeah. Well, and again, we're able to do shows like this through Lightning in a Bottle Entertainment and bring Joe Booney and the other great work that we're doing behind the scenes.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you again taking time out of your schedule like the rest of the time you do.
2 weeks until, so we'll get that up soon.
Yes, my friend, and I haven't broken my fast yet. It's still Ramadan. I have to go eat and drink. That's a perfect time to finish the broadcast.
Show at 8:00. Next meeting.
Yes. Stay safe, my friend. You look good.
Thank you. You too. Take care, my friend.
Take care.
Bye, Ing.
And yes, it was a great interview from Joe Sports Channel, the host, but it was a great interview from you beautiful people too. You put the show together. You brought the broadcaster in. The broadcaster speaks the truth, and I only speak the truth and only the truth. When you have a Tony Ambrogio, when you have a Johnny Be Good, when you have a Carson Ing, all listening loud and clear from the great city of London, Ontario, Canada, anything is possible. Love you guys so much. Stay safe. Stay humbled. We'll talk soon. And last but not least, Carson Ing, you are a damn sexy pinata. Feliz Navidad. Good night, guys.